Thanks, everybody, for being here. We appreciate you coming. When we announced this a week ago, as you can imagine, my email got flooded. A lot of them saying, wow, what a great hire. And a lot of them being friends from Knoxville saying, what in the world is going on here? I think Coach has 297 victories, is that right?
Yes,
You probably don't. 209. Well, at least 16 of them I remember very well, being on the wrong end of them as a Tennessee fan. But this came about when we first started looking at the possibility of a WNBA team, and Coach reached out, and then he said, well, I might also be interested in hockey. And I thought, well, that's the greatest no-brainer of all time. You have somebody who understands building a championship culture, who understands, I think, better than almost anybody in sports, the process that's needed to get to where you compete as a champion. And somebody who just like I do, loves sports and loved the idea of being involved. And he's obviously a fan of Nashville as well, since he has some investment here in the car business. And when he decided to add on to that and join the sports business, I thought that's a great day for Nashville. So, Coach, welcome. We're thrilled to have you with us, and I'll turn it over to you.
Well, thank you, Bill. I appreciate it. And, this is a great opportunity for us because one of the biggest fears that I had in retiring was I'd been a part of a team since I was 9 years old. And when I retired, I was no longer a part of a team. And when Mr. Haslam gave us the opportunity to be a part of this team, which I've always been interested in hockey. It goes back to 10 years at Michigan State when they had tremendous hockey teams, won national championships. I was really good friends with the coach there. We shared ideas. And then to have the opportunity to be partners with Mr. Haslam, a successful organization with a great brand like the Predators, was really something that was appealing to us and an opportunity that we were so excited to be able to take advantage of. So I'm no expert in hockey, so don't look at me like I'm going to make some huge impact coaching around here, because that's not going to happen. But I do have a pretty good idea of what it takes to have successful organizations. And one of the reasons that we wanted to partner with the Predators and Mr. Haslam and this organization, they want to be successful. They want to be successful, the people in this town, the fans who support it. We came to a game several years ago when we were in the playoffs here and playing the Pittsburgh team, and I got killed for wearing Predator stuff because I grew up in West Virginia, and they're all Pittsburgh fans and everything. So I got absolutely blasted for being a traitor. But
I know how that feels.
I'm not a traitor. And we may have beat Tennessee 16 times, which I'm really proud of, but the only game that I remember is the one we lost. Anyway, we're happy to be here. We're excited to be here. Dream Sport is something that we created because we wanted to get involved in sports organizations. So my partner and I, Joe Agresti, decided that we would make this entity, and absolutely excited about because we are connected to this town with the businesses that we have. We think this is a great, Nashville is a great growing city in the right part of the country for us, and to be a part of the hockey team here is something special, and we'd love to build it into a championship. So we'd love to partner with Mr. Haslam on anything that we can do to help this organization be successful.
All right, questions. And like I said, if we could let us bring a mic too, that'd be great.
Nick, if you're not coaching hockey, what is it that you maybe, and it's still early, but what do you envision concrete bringing to the franchise besides your money?
Well, what does it take to be a successful organization? Process. There's some of the things that we did when I was in the NFL as well as in college, from, how you bring players to a team, how you manage the organization from a financial standpoint to maximize the players that you can bring to the team relative to what you can spend. How do you successfully get people in the organization to work together? The kind of leadership that takes. I'm kind of a transformational leader where you want to have great relationships with the people. How do you set a good example? Be somebody that somebody can emulate in a first-class way. How do you help somebody have the best chance to be successful, which is what we would want every person in this organization to do, is have the best chance to be all they can be from a player standpoint, from a coach's standpoint, from an organizational standpoint. So having great relationships with those people and contributing every way you can. I mean, Bill and I talked quite a bit about some of the things that we did in football that may bleed over into what they could do here in the hockey organization that may be helpful. Some things maybe not, but anything like that that we can do, we'd love to do.
Next question.
Coach, just curious, how present do you expect to be? I have no idea what your calendar looks like after football season, when the bulk of hockey season is. How often will you be here? What will you be doing around? That kind of thing.
It's up to him.
Oh, you're full-time then.
You know, there was a couple occasions where I've already been here, once to visit with the front office of the organization, once what I'm going to call mini camp, you know, that they had for, and spoke to the team and the coaches, and you know, kind of challenged the team, you know, the people that were there, which was mostly the AAA team, whatever that's called, and to, you know, be a team that nobody wants to play against. You know, that was always our goal with Alabama. So, and that's how you compete, the toughness that you play with, the disposition that you go out there and compete with. So, you know, those kinds of things I'd like to continue to do, and whatever Mr. Haslam would like for me to do and thinks that I can contribute in a positive way, I'd like to do. You know, we come here on occasion because of our business. It's not that far away. It's a good place for Miss Terry to shop, so we're all good.
If it's up to me, you'll be playing a lot less golf this winter, but we'll see.
Nick, you talked about, you know, aligning yourself with high achievers in the past. As a part of your process, how contagious have you found that to be? How much a part of a process is that for you?
Well, I think, you know, process is just a definition of what you have to do to be successful. First of all, you got to define what you want to do. Then what do you have to do it? And then how do you establish the discipline organizationally to be able to do it every day? And that's something that we've, you know, did a pretty good job of in the past, establishing a process, having people in the organization. It's not just an organizational thing, it's an individual thing. You know, my success probably was more about helping people be successful. In other words, I wanted everybody in the organization to have goals and aspirations, and I wanted to help them define what they had to do it and provide the leadership to help them to do it. So if we could get everybody in this organization playing like a champion, we might have a chance to win a championship. And that's something that I always try to promote with, you know, our players and the people in our organization. And I know Mr. Haslam wants to do that in this organization. And if there's anything I can do to contribute to that process, I'd be glad to be helpful.
Nick, I'm curious how much you've interacted with Barry Trotz so far, and what are your impressions of him?
Look, I know Barry is a good guy. We had a couple meetings, and I like the guy. I don't know enough about what he does and the job that he's done to this point to be able to, and nor would I want to evaluate, you know, his performance in any kind of way. I think that's up to, you know, other people in the organization. I'm here to support him every way that I can to help him be successful, and anyone else in the organization that I can be helpful to.
Nick, what excites you most about being a part of this franchise and in this city at this stage?
It's exciting as hell to be a part of this organization. You know, the couple games that we've been to in the past, the fans, the enthusiasm, the passion in the organization were tremendous. The brand is really outstanding. I think hockey is one of the sort of fastest growing sports. You know, I have a house in South Florida, and people talk about hockey more than they talk about the Miami Dolphins, who I used to be the coach of, which kind of pisses me off, but it is what it is. You know, so the Panthers are successful, and I think when you have a successful organization, a lot of people will relate to that, and that's certainly the goal here.
Yeah.
Nick, you talked about being a competitor. I'm just curious, how has retirement suited you? Are you bored, or are you looking for a challenge?
I think doing things like this is a part of it. Being involved in a team is a part of it. I gamble on a golf course every chance I get, so that's part of it, being competitive. But being a part of game day is also because it's not just showing up and talking on Saturday. There's preparation involved. It keeps you involved in the game. When you coach a team, you look at everything through a straw. Your team, who you're playing, what you need to do to improve your team. When you do something like this, you look at everything from 1,000 feet. You're looking at, I wouldn't know who Scattaboo was from a load of coal if I wasn't doing game day, because I didn't ever know anything about Arizona State because we didn't ever play them. But that happens globally. And it's kind of an interesting approach, and it's fun. We have a good group of people on game day, and we obviously announced on game day that I was going to be a part of this organization, which can't hurt anybody or anything. But I'm not bored. I have to be honest that when I'm sitting doing game day in Oklahoma Stadium before we play, or in Texas A&M Stadium before they play, it gets me a little bit that I'd like to be playing in the game. But are you willing to do the 14-hour a day, every day, leading up to the game for the whole season? That's what gets you when you get old.
Couple more questions.
Nick, you mentioned wanting to be part of a team and kind of the leadership advice that you can bring. Are you also expecting a return on this investment, just given how NHL teams have risen in value over the last few decades?
Well, I hope so. I don't think anybody invests money in anything to lose it. So, but it more is about the challenge of how can we help the team rebuild, get better, have a chance to compete for a championship. And then I think when you do that, all the other things, sort of come with it. And so that's the goal. That's the incitement. That's the reason that I'm here today. It's not about making money. It's about how can we get better and what can we do, and how exciting it is to be a part of, this organization. And, to be honest, Miss Terry has never asked me, like, who won a game. Last night I was looking at scores, and she asked me who won the Predators game. So this runs deep in our house.
Coach, you said just a little bit earlier that you're not by no means an expert on hockey. So what will you do to immerse yourself and learn the nuances of everything that you're now investing in?
Well, I think there's two parts of it. I think there's an operational side of it. So how do you bring players to the team? How do you get the best people in the organization? Is there some experience that you've had in the past that can contribute to that? I was fortunate to be around a lot of people that were great mentors who were parts of successful organizations. Started with Don James, my college coach, George Perlis, 4 Super Bowls with Chuck Noll, and being a part of that organization, Belichick being a part of a whole bunch of Super Bowls. So what it takes to be successful is really pretty much the same in business as it is in sports, as it is in hockey, as it is in football, in terms of how do you build an organization that has the best chance to be successful. And it's not about, how you change lines or set lines or whatever you do. When the game starts, that's up to the coach, which I'm not qualified to be a coach in hockey. And I am qualified to support the coach and help him provide the leadership to help his players maybe develop the kind of psychological disposition, competitive character to go out and play and be more successful because of it, which is what pro players want to do. Everybody always said, did you hate coaching in the NFL? I say, hell no, I loved it. I said the motivation of the players was different. They wanted to have a longer career, they wanted to make more money, but they still had a passion to do that. In college, players were trying to create value for their future so they would have the opportunity to do that. So what's the difference? Everybody wants to be good. How can you help them be good? And how good do you want to be? And I think I wanted to be a part of this organization because I feel like we want to be good.
Off of what Chris said, Coach, about being immersed in the hockey team, please tell us you know how to skate. And if not, will we see you on the ice at some point?
Well, you know where I came from? A coal mining town in West Virginia. We didn't have any ice. We didn't have any ice skates. And there was nobody playing hockey within a 100-mile radius. So, no, I have skated. I can't say I'm a skater. So I don't know if you'll see me on the ice or not.
That was not a prerequisite for the deal.
Any others? Last one.
Bill, from your perspective,
Yeah.
to not only have Coach Saban as part of this ownership group now, but just the way that the organization is trending now since you've taken over as chairman, how does that excite you? What do you see in all of this moving forward?
You know, if you're in this room, you don't get a sense for who Coach is and how competitive he is and how much he wants to win, then you've missed it, right? Or you don't have a pulse. And I think everybody, like I said, just get it sitting in this room. And when I talk to Coach again, both of us understand, like, we're not going to coach this team. We're not going to decide who we draft. We're not going to decide what's going to happen at the, trade deadline. But he does bring a history of winning, I'd argue, almost like no one else. And I love it that he wants to be involved here. So it's just real. Listen, this weekend was a great weekend, right? We won Saturday night, Sunday night. Titans won Sunday afternoon. It was a great Nashville sports weekend. And I left thinking, we had huge crowds both nights, and we're playing 500 hockey, and we're packing the arena out. It's really a great atmosphere. I thought, these folks deserve a great team. And that's what we want to be a part of.
To that point, Bill brings up a good point. I'm not going to decide who we pick in the draft. But having been involved in drafts, how do you get to the point where you get the players evaluated right because of the process and how you do it? So you can evaluate psychological disposition. That takes somebody making input. You have to define critical factors to play every position that fits how you want to play the game. The Capitals play different than Edmonton. I know that much. So when you define all those things, then you get the right pieces and you have the right people making those decisions, but you've given them sort of a framework of what is the best way for us to be able to evaluate the players so we're going to get the best value for the player that we pick. Does that make sense? Which we may not have any input in who that is, but we can have input into the process that will help them make better picks.
All right. Thank you all very much. I think you can see why I'm really excited about Nick being willing to join our team, and we look forward to lots of years of great hockey and success on the ice. Thanks, everybody, for coming. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Thank you very much.